Hi guys, good evening. Well, as you know, the last couple days we have been here and this has been amazing. Joanna Kennedy, she is a passion expert. She's also program director and passion expert for Date Camp, which is the coolest thing I have heard since sliced bread. We have been talking about dating, the Helen Reddy movement, the stuff we need to get rid of, kind of a nice little pathway on meeting the right types of people. But this show is going to be the best, I think, because we're going to talk about all those lovely questions about, like, you guys out there that are stupid enough to think that you think we're going to have orgasm. Well, we're pretty good at faking that kind of stuff. And we're also going to talk about kissing. And yes, there are proper ways of showing passion and kissing. And maybe people could have sex just by kissing. There's a lot of maybes, as you guys know, I think, out of the box here. But Joanna, welcome back again. Guys, we're not wearing the same outfit 3 days in a row here. No, we're just going through a very long series of great content. So welcome back. You know me, I'm going to get into the meat and potatoes, so here we go. I'm going to fire away sassy style.
All right.
All right. So you meet this guy, and you let him take over. He contacts you. You go on a date. Is it okay to kiss the first night?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Is it okay to kiss before you go on that first date? You're attracted. You didn't do anything when you first met him, but then you went on a real date. Any kissing in the beginning, or we gotta wait till the end of the date?
When he's picking you up.
When he picks you up, sometimes people like kiss hello.
Somewhere, kiss hello.
On the cheek, on the lips. Like, is it politically correct or nothing? Shake hands. What do you do? Hugs?
You know, again, you'll hear me. You've heard me say this over and over. There's no rules. But who am I?
Would that be the wrong message, though? Is my question. That's what women and more than men worry about.
In that first place, though. I mean,
I've given a guy a hug or a kiss on the cheek.
That's a hug.
Say hi, how are you?
I was going to say, a full-on kiss right up front, that's
not
probably
a
going to be kind of weird.
Not like slopping spit.
Yeah, I'm like, not up front. But, a hug, we've met before and we're meeting for the, absolutely.
See you again, hello.
Totally. A kiss on the cheek, feel into that one. Maybe, maybe not.
Is it in a kiss on the cheek, is it more like a cheek-to-cheek kind of kiss? Do you think the lip is just maybe touching the cheek, or just like a kiss on the cheek?
Yeah, the difference is, if the cheeks are coming together, that we...
Because you can kiss with your cheek, right?
You can. And so that's one thing. But, a woman who were to plant a kiss on, the cheek, or even a guy to do it, that one... It's going to be... I remember... Actually, I think back.
Do you remember Rex Smith and Sooner or Later?
I remember doing this on one date.
Really?
But it was the end of the first date. I kissed him on the cheek.
But that's okay.
And that's okay. However, going back to what we talked about in the last segment, it was actually a little too pursuing. That was back in my engineering
You were aggressive.
I was much more aggressive, and I didn't end up with the relationships I wanted.
I know, but I don't think people out there are going to have any problem with that. It's if you're an attractive woman and you give them a kiss. I mean...
It is, but it's just noticing. I might not set myself up to have the relationship I want. But it's, it's...
You think it's... But that's just the beginning. It might not go in that direction, right?
It may or may not. It's just noticing.
The likelihood for the persona of the person might, right?
And it's a practice for women. If we're feminine and we want a masculine guy, we have to practice letting him lead.
Take over.
We have to practice our surrender.
Well, then I'm screwed.
You're not alone. Like, I work with so many women who we thought we had to be strong. To surrender feels like a total threat to our identity. And yet, that's actually where he gets to show up.
Yeah. I think I'll tell you, if you look back to Little House on the Prairie, Caroline, she had her own business. She sold eggs at the shop in the downtown store in Little House on the Prairie. So if she could do it when they were in the prairie stage of where we are today, she was Woman Hear Me War. She made money, and you know what? When Charles was sick, she made money.
She did.
She got a lot of mixed messages out there.
She was also very much a woman.
She was the caretaker.
She was a caretaker.
But she also had a business.
And she had a business.
And
you can do both. You can absolutely be a woman who is feminine, be successful in the business world, have a business, and be feminine and have a masculine guy showing up.
So there is a good balance. It's about balance. really, isn't it?
I wouldn't even call it balance. It's about finding the truth of who we are. We've lived so many identities. Like,
we try to be acceptable.
We're trying to be acceptable. We're trying to do the right thing. We're trying to be the tough woman. We're trying to be superwoman. If I could exercise the idea of superwoman out of women's lives right now, I'm going to be the best mom. I'm going to be the top of my performance at the office. I'm going to be, part of the PTA. I'm going to be in great shape. The pressure.
It's a lot of pressure.
It's so much pressure. And there's no wonder that so many women are struggling and unhappy.
And then you end up with someone because you think they show a bit of interest to make things different. And maybe it was the right timing for part of it, but not the whole package, right?
Right. Or we didn't really show up. We came empty. Or we came trying to overtake or be the dominant one in the relationship, and it's going to create challenge if we're not healthy in ourselves.
Isn't that the truth? So here's my question, because we've been talking about this. I watched a video, and I don't know who was in the video with you, or maybe just an actor, but it was about kissing. I know for myself, at first when I saw it, I'm like, okay, is this going to show me how to French kiss and all that stuff? Because if it is, that's like soft porn. I don't know if I can watch that by myself. So, Joanna, it is about passion and not just kissing. Are there different kisses? Are dating, and can you, well, we're not going to practice up front, but is there a way for me to describe to these people, my friends that are watching this are probably going to be just on the floor besides themselves, but, I am in my mid-40s, and I have not had a guy ever tell me a bad kisser and so forth, and I've certainly kissed enough frogs, that's for sure. What is the right type of kiss, and when is the right type of kiss, and what type of kiss? There's a lot of kiss questions.
There's a lot of kiss questions there. So when
do you kiss? When is it okay to give one of those just passionate, good, juicy, and is it okay after the first date? Well, if it presents itself?
If it presents itself, absolutely.
But does he have to make the move?
If you're a feminine woman, yes, he has to make the move.
But you just said about meeting, though. So the message is, what if you do want him to take over, but maybe he's not? Remember, you're both reading each other, so maybe you both want to do it, but no one makes the move, so someone's got to do it. She ends up being her, but she's not generally the aggressor, but she wants it to happen because she wants him to know that she likes her.
She's trying to take control, and she's going into her masculine, and she'll never be able to surrender.
So if she doesn't kiss her, then maybe he thinks that she won't be interested.
Then he's not interested.
So you guys got to take a chance. You have to take a chance and possibly walk away with no kissing, no nothing.
Guys have to deal with the rejection, but we can give him signs to know that there's a pretty good chance he's not going to get rejected.
What are those
signs? The way that we smile.
Okay.
If we're leaning.
Show me an example of like a smile. Show me a. Wouldn't it be a flirtatious smile, a welcoming smile? Because I smile, I do, but that doesn't mean I want to date somebody.
Well, it's what do I do with my eyes? So I smile at him and then I look away.
So I don't lock in. Like a very like a this.
There is a bit of that, but if I come in and meet his eyes and lock in, it's like prey, and we don't want a guy to lock in eyes with us either. Then we feel like we're the
hunted.
Hunted, the animal he's trying to hunt, and we don't want that. But when it's a natural chemistry, the eyes will meet and then they'll look away.
And then you look back again?
And then we look back again. Exactly. We know we naturally do it.
So you play that game a little bit of like looking this way and then looking away and looking again and then looking away. And
put on a big smile. And not fake. Just your genuine smile.
Now what if you're about to leave when that happens? Like you're at the bar, or say you're at a restaurant and you're paying your bill and you're exchanging all this and the waitress brings back your copy and you go. That's it. And you just get this nice encounter.
If he really wants you,
he'll chase after you?
He'll get up and come ask you for your number.
Oh, good God. Where do we have to live to have that?
Well, and this is part of my mission in the world, is to get men back into their power and women back into their power, but they're different powers.
And I'm going to leave you there because this you guys is good. We do have to go into one commercial, but we have a lot of sponsors for our show. But this episode, I promise, not a lot of commercials. We're going to go to commercial break. We're going to come back. And then you're going to give us some more good stuff on the kissing and then all that good stuff that comes after. We'll see you back in 5 minutes. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
At Date Camp, we connect the best relationship experts and dating resources to the millions of single hearts ready for love. Date Camp delivers the information and advice needed to date successfully and love passionately.
A first date would be someplace that we can really talk. See if there's a connection there, something that can be fun or playful, but definitely somewhere where we can really find out if there's anything between us that we would want to grow from.
Something fun is also good, some kind of activity, whether it be pool or just something that's kind of fun and engaging, but definitely someplace where we can talk. I'm not dinner and a movie kind of guy at all.
I've been dating this girl, and I finally got to take her to the most wonderful place. It was San Francisco. And what I would do is go take her to Pier 39, and then we'd walk all the way down to Ghirardelli, get chocolate, coffee, walk all the way back. The weather was perfect. We'd grab a sandwich. We sat and watched the ocean and just talked all night long. That's the best date ever.
My idea of the perfect date would be a playful one where we do something active and playful, like playing pool or miniature golf, where there can be conversation and connection, but not too much pressure where we have to talk. I don't necessarily like a sit-down dinner, but something where we can interact and play and goof off and get to know each other.
This guy asked me out on a date, and we were planning on going, but I ended up stepping on a rusty nail, and I ended up so sick. I actually ended up in the hospital. I couldn't walk. I felt horrible. I looked disgusting. And he actually ended up coming into the hospital room and setting it up, and we had a date there in the hospital room. And it meant so much to me because I looked disgusting, I was so horrible, and he saw me at my absolute worst, but still believed the best in me. And that's what made it the most amazing, best date ever.
Hi guys, welcome back. Well, as you know, I gave you one of those cliffhangers. Sorry, you know, like it's a tease. Some people would call it a P-tease, right? It's called a prick tease. That's what they call it. That's not what I'm doing. We were talking about kissing. We were talking about how to start the initiation of showing someone that you like them. And Joanna was saying that, of course, you know, we're at a restaurant, you're exchanging eyes. If a guy is really interested, girls, you kind of gotta just let him go after you. You have to trust that if it's meant to be, you got to give up some of that control. I know for myself, and I speak for many women, that's really hard because we're control freaks, right? So for the admitted control freak, the suggestion is to just let things be. And if it's meant to be, you will either A, somehow in the universe find yourself back meeting that person. Maybe they frequent that bar, right? Or that restaurant. Or he will come after you. Now, what if she exchange, and sometimes it's a little sexy, you know. Say you're at a hotel bar and you write your phone number. Some people give room keys. I mean, you know, you've seen it all, I'm sure. Everybody's done that. But she's leaving, but she likes that little exchange of eye stuff going on there. Would it be terrible if she gave her information? Because maybe she doesn't even live in the same town. I mean, there could be so many reasons why.
It's not terrible. But if she wants a man who's going to show up for her later and be manly in the relationship, then she's going to set the energy
So
wrong.
so there's no chance that even if she just started it by saying, I'm starting this off, but I'm going to let him take it from there, you can't just reverse roles?
You've already set the energy in place. And I guarantee you there will be people that will argue with me on
Right.
this. But it's setting that energy.
But they'll be doing it and you won't hear them because they'll be on their couch.
Exactly. But it really is over a decade of watching that dynamic. And we can smile, we look up, we lean in. He can start to feel. If we're really engaged in the conversation, we're probably not going to turn him down. But if we're really engaged and the thing is, if he's not going to pick us, let him not pick us from the very beginning.
Right, save us the heartbreak.
Absolutely, save
Yeah,
the heartbreak.
that's true.
And he
I
gets
agree
into
with
it
that.
and goes, okay, she just gave me your number. All right, this will be good for a good date. But his heart's not into it. His energy's not into it. We're setting ourselves up. Guys know what they want.
It's mysterious, though, in a sense. But they're also, remember we were talking about commitment-phobic men who may still get the card, pursue you, but then tell my viewers, because I know I've got some type A personas that followed my career since I was yay high. How do you know what the commitment phobic looks like? Because they're good at hiding that kind of stuff in the beginning. And if you let him pursue it, that doesn't mean a whole lot when he's got commitment problems.
Well, we were talking about it, but those commitment issues will show up in other areas. He won't set a specific date. He'll call you at the last minute to make plans rather than setting a date 5 days from now or 2 weeks from now. So he's going to do things, or he'll leave the plans very open-ended.
Yeah.
So there will be,
I
and
hate that.
those are not absolute, but those are some guidelines to start paying attention to. If he can't even commit to a time, or he can't commit to something that's more than a day out, there's probably
But
something
some
to
men
pay
like the
attention to.
pursuit, so if a girl plays hard to get, as soon as he lands the girl, then he just backs off.
That can happen, and those are sometimes, but the thing is, my experience and my belief is, if there's a pattern of guys showing up with commitment phobia, there's probably a commitment phobia going on here that we're not even aware of.
And they're probably both commitment phobic too, right?
Yes.
Now, I'll tell you that book that he shared. I read that for the first time, and I thought to myself, it didn't matter that a psychologist didn't write the book, but when I read it, I was like, oh my God, I'm the passive. I make excuses, but anyone that knows me on a TV or personal level would say, oh no, she's strong like
totally.
bull. Yeah.
Totally. People would have thought I was the strongest woman in the world.
Yeah.
And not at all underneath. It was a persona.
So now, I've been waiting to get this part. So the kiss, we talked about the cheek to cheek. I was going to tell you, sooner or later, that was a movie, if you remember Rex Smith, he was like the romantic guy.
I don't know if I saw
Oh
that
my God. It was a show called movie. Sooner or later, it was about a young girl who lied about her age. He was a singer, Rex Smith, long hair. Am I aging myself?
No, because we're really close in the
Oh,
same age,
okay, that's good. Okay.
I just don't remember.
Anyway, she's 13. She was talking to her friend about kissing, and her best friend said, "Oh, I've kissed." Well, with what? Well, with parts of the body. Well, what do you mean you can kiss different parts of your body? Well, what did he kiss you with? And then she's like, his elbow. It was her dentist. 13-year-old, love with the dentist. Anyway, she said, you kissed him with your elbow? Yeah. And that's how I still remember that in my head. So tell us, kiss-wise, what is the kiss like? The kiss where you're interested, but I don't want to hop in a sack with you kind of kiss. And we know what a hello kiss is. We know what an I like you kiss is, but I saw that video, and there was a lot of different things, and she was making out with this guy. And it looked pretty bad. I thought it was her husband. Boy, I was corrected.
It was a boyfriend at the time.
Really?
It's been
So it was her
several years
boyfriend.
ago, but it was
7
a
years.
boyfriend at the
Well,
time.
you look great because you look exactly the same and good and beautiful. So what, the people that are taking this course, you were saying, are typically single. And of course you meet up with a partner, and the possibility of meeting the right partner and someone who kisses good too, right?
Absolutely.
That's a double bonus.
Oh, being a good kisser, there's nothing like being out with a good kisser and having a relationship with a good kisser.
Oh yeah, that's hard to break off.
Oh, yeah.
I kissed a guy who did tonsil hockey and I almost died once. It's true.
Yeah,
I told him if he's trying to choke me, he's doing a good job.
Yeah, that is not
So
appealing to most women.
what is a good type of kiss? Now obviously I'm not going to hold my mouth open and show you guys what that looks like, no. But what tell us in a verbal, I guess if you can, what a kiss, because you were doing a class on kissing.
Yeah. Well,
How does it that?
There's different techniques. There's different parts of the lips that feel different ways, that have different energies. And the thing is, and here's probably the strangest aspect of the whole video, but it makes such a difference, is we both come in and try to kiss at the same time. I'm trying to kiss your upper lip, you're trying to kiss my upper lip.
And your nose gets in the way, right?
Nose gets in the way, but we're both trying to do at the same time.
Right.
Like,
so you have to let someone take over.
It's let yourself be kissed. Like,
it's a lot of letting up of control.
Pleasures my lips with, whether he's using his tongue, whether he's sucking on it a little bit and putting a little pull on it, or whether
I got bit my lip once. He got bit. I was like, what are you doing?
You can nibble. I don't suggest biting, but a little nibble.
Bit.
Yeah,
like a pit bull.
Biting is not good, but at least not for most people. But
That's
those
true.
are the different things. And then, then the question is, when do I start kissing? If I'm being kissed, when do I start kissing?
Because if you don't kiss back.
Flow. Right, there's a natural
that
flow.
Everybody does the tonsil hockey stuff. They all ask that.
You start to kiss, but you let yourself actually feel the kiss.
Feel the kiss. But that's what ends up people in the sack. It's true. A passionate kiss leads to a passionate sack. That's what that
not
does.
if we know what our boundaries are. Not if we know what and that's.
But if you're a good kisser, though,
I get
that's hard to put it back there.
It can be, but what do we want? What do we want in the long
We
term?
want the guy who's a good kisser to be good in the sack and still date us.
There we go. And
that's not too much to ask for. And then marry us, have kids with white picket fence, and hello until the day you die.
Exactly.
So this is really about giving up control quite a bit.
Well,
the art of dating it and giving up your maybe being more vulnerable and
there's the feminine is vulnerable. She's surrendered, and that's not to say that the woman doesn't, even a feminine woman doesn't step in and kiss her man. Absolutely. Right. But she's going to bring even more sensuality to it.
Yeah, she
and
is.
There's a teasingness that can come out to it. And we're using
And she won't be called a PT?
No, absolutely. Because it's part of the turn on. It's part of the arousal. Now there's the desire. And yes, the deeper and the more passionate that kiss goes, the more intensity that it's going to draw us to the bedroom. But you brought up the vulnerability.
Yeah.
And I've said surrender. So you've been mentioning the big O.
Yes, we talked about the big O, guys. We're going to cover this big O. So now, I'll tell you, my male friends, they said, Samantha, I know if a woman's faking. I'm like, oh God, you guys are so mistaken. We only fake it because we just want it to be over with. That's pretty much the bottom line. If they suck in bed, that's just going to be the end. And we don't want to be their teacher and tell them how to do it right because that's insulting to the opposite sex. We don't want to take away his masculinity. So how does that work out? The big O. We have those things there. How do
you just asked enough questions that could be a week-long workshop.
Yeah, I know. I just did us, right? Answer it in 5 minutes.
Yeah.
All those questions. And 7 wonders of the world. That would be number 8.
Really, there we go. Well, part of a good orgasm, though, is surrendering. So we have
That's why most women, there's a lot of women who don't have it. They never have it.
That's partially also how I got here. Is because I had all that control and I...
Did you fake it?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my God, I'm asking you this. This guy's going to be watching now, right?
In my early days, yeah. Were there times I faked it? Absolutely. Because I get frustrated.
Yeah.
I would
but you don't know what you want.
Absolutely. I didn't know what I wanted. I didn't know how to ask for it. I wasn't sure how it would even feel because it was so rare back in those days that I'd have an orgasm.
So then how'd you know when you finally had it?
Well, you know when you have it.
I guess so. That's a stupid question. I know. Good God. I don't know, but some people fake it so well that they think that's what it is about that. Do you know what I'm saying?
Well,
Got some screamers in there.
The body responds. You can feel the contractions.
Right.
But where women, and do sometimes I still, if I'm in a hyper business mode and I got a lot of things going on, is it still hard for me to surrender? And that's where our different techniques of how do we get a woman to fully relax, get her fully in her body, get her fully receiving.
So you might
the
take
pleasure.
a couple dates before you start getting into that place.
Oh, totally.
Yeah.
You know, where we're really connected heart space before we move, it could be several dates.
Yeah.
But then it's the, how do I open up and allow myself to relax into the pleasure and not worry about what I have to give back.
Yeah.
So many women are like, oh, I'm taking too long, or, you know, is he getting tired and should I be doing something?
Yeah, you start wondering
and you
about
get all
those things.
This, and then the minute we get into our head, forget.
Well, we're running out of time. We're going to go into our very last show if you're here, because, you know, I've had so many questions of all this here. And I know you guys are probably like, you're leaving it now at this with the sex conversation. Well, no, I'm not leaving it. But yeah, I'm leaving it for tonight. So we'll see you guys tomorrow night, same time. And we're going to finish off the Big O and a couple other things, and how to get a hold of Joanna. See, Diana. She looks like a Diana. I've been saying this all day. Sorry.
That's all right.
And all the sex talk, that's probably what it is. You guys have a good night. I'm going to get myself a glass of wine at this point. I'll see you tomorrow. Tomorrow on Get Sassy.
When we choose it and we don't build that rug up, we tell the truth, and we invite in how do we go deeper in our sexuality. What's possible? How big of an orgasm can I have? How long of an orgasm can I have? How much pleasure can I actually enjoy in this body?
Your boyfriend must really like you.